Hi and welcome. Can you add distance to your golf game simply by increasing the speed of your backswing? Well, today I'm going to definitively answer that question for you. So I'm going to hit some drivers with my normal golf swing in my normal rhythm. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and hit some drivers where basically I'm trying to make my backswing significantly faster, and we're going to see what impact, if any, that has on the distance that I'm creating. But not only that, we're also going to look at accuracy and dispersion of those shots, because at the end of the day that's going to be an important factor, and it's pointless gaining a lot of speed if we're losing a lot of control. Following looking at that, we'll do my normal and we'll look over my swing speed training. Now, December's been a bit of a funny month, been quite ill, and I've not managed to speed train. So it'd be interesting to see if the work that I've done previously has allowed me to retain some speed, or whether I've lost anything with my inability to practice, play, and train. Right, so I'm going to head outside, and what we're going to do is I'm going to pop some swings up on the screen for you, and we're just going to have a look at those before we come back and then have a look at some data. Okay, so as you can see, I put two swings on the screen here, both side by side, and what we're going to do is I'm going to run both of those swings to the top of their backswing. Now you can see on one side I've got my normal rhythm swing, and on the other side I put my faster backswing. So we're going to run those back quite slowly until we get the first one to the top of the backswing, and we'll see what things look like. Okay, so let's now hit pause as I've reached the top of my backswing on my fast backswing swing. What a mouthful that is. And we can clearly see that I have managed to reach the top of my backswing quicker when I think I'm making a faster swing than I have when I'm making my normal rhythmical swing. So there's a positive to be taken there in the fact that I've actually managed to achieve a faster backswing. Right, so let's now run those two swings down to the ball and then through, and we can clearly see that I've actually managed to complete the swing faster with the swing where I was trying to make a quicker backswing. Right, so now let's run both of those swings in full speed, side by side one more time, just so as you can see them both in action. Well, I can say that I certainly felt the difference when I was making that faster backswing, and to be honest with you, it felt very much outside of my comfort zone. Obviously, everybody tends to have their own natural rhythm, and this really felt like I was moving the club exceptionally quick on the backswing and felt quite weird for me. But let's have a look at the most important information, which is the data. Did I gain any club head speed, ball head speed and distance? And what was my impact on my accuracy? And was that affected in a positive or negative manner? Right, so let's pop some data up on the screen here, and this is my normal swing. Now you can see I was a little bit slower today, and I certainly felt that. Normally my driver swing speed is around 107 to 108 miles an hour, but you can see here I was only able to reach 106.6 miles an hour, so just a little bit slower than normal. Now we can see then that that was creating a ball speed of just over 157 miles an hour, which is in line with what I would expect from that club head speed, and my spin number was just over 2,400, which is in the window that I would expect. So ultimately, with those numbers of club head, ball speed and spin, I was able to carry the ball 254 yards with this shot, which basically is in line with where I would expect it to be for those swings. Right, so now just below that, let's now pop the data for the swings where I was trying to make a significantly faster backswing, and immediately you'll be able to see some differences. I was able to swing the club head at over 108 miles an hour. So we're talking nearly 2 miles an hour quicker just from increasing my backswing. When I look back at the data, one of my golf swings with the fast backswing was 110.6 miles per hour. Now this is significantly faster than I've generally been able to swing it recently, even on days where I felt really fast. And today the numbers were saying that I just wasn't swinging particularly fast. So to be able to hit 108 plus miles an hour in general with one swing over 110 miles an hour is really, really interesting with this faster backswing. As you can see, ball speed increased also to 160.3. Now that's maybe not quite as high a jump as I would have expected, but I can quite simply put that down to strike. one of the things I found as I was making the faster backswing was that I felt my strike was varying across the club face, so perhaps I wasn't getting quite as much out of the ball as I was getting from the club, but certainly that's something that I think would improve if it was something I decided that I wanted to continue. So perhaps that's why the ball speed numbers don't seem quite as high as I might expect them to be. However, again, looking at the data, my fastest swing within that set from the fast backswings was 163.4 miles an hour. Now, I consider that to be currently right at my top end of speed. And again, this was a day where everything was saying that I wasn't swinging particularly quickly. So my spin number was just over 2,600, and we can probably again attribute that slight increase in spin purely to the fact that I was getting some missed strikes. So there might have been some lower strikes that might have bumped up the spin a little bit, and certainly there might have been a few heel strikes that again might have added a little bit of spin. It's nothing particularly bad, and it sort of sits in the window that I'm reasonably comfortable with, but was higher than I would have wanted to see. Carry distance was up at 259.3 yards, so that's quite a significant gain. It's about 5 yards difference that I've gained, so for me that's about half a club in distance. Now, like I say, considering I also say that I was having a number of shots that felt like they were a little bit across the club face as I was trying to get used to how my body was moving with this faster backswing, I think gaining 5 yards just through doing that, there's potential for that to become an even bigger gap if it's something I want to carry on trying. So basically, having had a look at that data, I think it's pretty clear that there's some speed and some yardage to be gained from actually making a faster backswing. So it is something that I will want to be looking at as I continue on my progress to try and reach 167 miles an hour. So the other side of the coin from this speed is, what about dispersion and accuracy? But before we look at that data, if you're a golfer who's looking to improve through this year, now's a great time to subscribe to the channel. I'm going to be producing a bunch of diverse content coming up that will be covering things like little tips, tricks, it will be equipment testing, and everything is going to be aimed at trying to help make you a better golfer and enjoy the game more. So do make sure to smash that subscribe button so you don't miss any of the great content that I'm going to be producing. Right, so I'm going to pop both of my dispersion charts up on the screen here, and what you'll find is something really amazing and really interesting. And that, quite simply, is that my dispersion left to right was actually better when I was making a fast backswing. So not only was I gaining club head speed, ball speed and distance, but it appears that my dispersion left to right was better, and you can clearly see that one of the things it helped me to do was to stop hitting that slightly fadey, cutty one out to the right. You'll see that the ball flight's all a little bit tighter and certainly don't have that drift out to the right. Now, the only other thing to look at on this is you will notice that the dispersion data front to back is slightly tighter with my normal golf swing. And again, I think we purely put that down to the fact that I did get some unusual strikes, more so with the fast backswing while I was trying to understand what was happening. And that means that there might be a slightly bigger discrepancy between minimum distance and maximum distance, therefore making the dispersion back to front slightly bigger. But I'm not too concerned about that, because I'm pretty sure that I could manage strike and improve strike. But I'm really excited with the fact that I think this is something that will actually allow me to hit the ball a little bit further. And based on just this small set of data, which I'll obviously have to look more into, might actually allow me to hit the ball at least as accurate, or if not more accurate than I currently do, while gaining distance. So in conclusion, based on this brief test, I really think there's some benefit to trying to swing the club slightly faster in the backswing. It's certainly something that I'm going to be adding into my practice, and over the coming weeks, especially through the early part of the year, it's certainly something that I will take out onto the golf course and test and try and see how it performs in the real world. Obviously, hopefully will find that not only will I be able to maintain the speeds, but on my days where I'm feeling a little bit faster, that hopefully might get my swings up into more the 110s, 111s, 112s with my driver, which is where I really would like to be. And obviously if we can maintain the accuracy, that will be great. And if it's something that I do continue to practice, I would assume naturally that I will get control of the strike a little bit more, and that will mean that I'll just generally should get a better bang for my buck of club head speed to ball speed, which again will just help to maximize distance. Now in this test I've seen a 5-yard gain, so there could be an ability for me to gain 10 or more yards if I can continue to work on this faster backswing. So it's certainly something worth having a practice with, seeing how it feels, something that you could try. You may find that it's just really difficult and you can't control it, but you may find that just by making your backswing a little bit quicker, there's actually a few yards to be gained without doing anything else. Right, so let's have a little look at my speed training through the month of December. Now, like I say, it felt like I was ill for pretty much the majority of the month, so I haven't really been able to speed train all that much, but I have managed a few sessions towards the end of the year, and I'll just pop those up there so as you can see them. Now, I was a little bit concerned that where I've not been able to work out and I've not been able to practice as much as I liked and not been able to speed train, that I might have lost some speed. But you can see from the data up here that that doesn't appear to be the case. I think obviously because I've given myself a really good starting point, having a few weeks where I've not been at peak performance and not been able to hasn't really impacted me massively, so I don't appear to have lost hardly any speed. If we take a look at the last session that I did up here, you can see that with the 195 gram weight, my final swing I managed to get to 107 miles an hour. Now that's a figure that I just haven't been able to get anywhere close to. Now interestingly, I did this speed training after I'd done my driver testing that we've just talked about, where I was working on my faster backswing. And on those last couple of swings, I really made an effort to dig deep and really try and swing that club back fast. And 107 is clearly the fastest swing that I've made with the stack since I've started using it. So again, that's really proving that there could be some benefit in me continuing to work on this faster backswing. If you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button. It really helps me get my videos out onto YouTube. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and check out this video that I think you might enjoy. I'm Graham, and I'll catch you on the course soon.